Hey guys, welcome back to my video. So first I wanted to start off by saying thank you guys so much for coming and watching my video. I did say in a couple of my videos that I wanted to start posting weekly. So since I get paid every 2 weeks, I get paid bi-weekly. I was thinking of kind of showing you guys how I set up my budget. Since I'm not a salaried employee, I am hourly. So that being said, this is my budget book. So I use the Papers by Jessica Ann. I've used the Budget Mom one, which I really did love a lot, and then I wanted to try something new. So the Papers by Jessica Ann, I chose this one. I love the layout. I do love that it says how to plan your month. Then you have your actual month, and then it did have these weekly ones, which I actually don't use too much, but I use it sometimes for like my grocery list, planning my day, but I do have an actual agenda for that. So this is what it looks like, and then afterwards it goes with the monthly, which I do like, and it has this scratch paper. But it also has your planner, your paycheck planner. So I do like that it goes by paycheck. So I don't use the expense tracking as much, but I will use the paycheck planner for my budget, and then when I get paid, I fill out the actual. So that being said, let's go ahead and start this. So there's different little things on here. Some of these things I will be keeping, private just for me. So I will be planning my month out with, wellness goals. I always put like fitness. Money goals is always to save, especially since we're on a single income. I always try to have some money saved up and be able to cash stuff, but priority is obviously paying my bills. So I already kind of have it broken down how I have my bills for the month. So everything that is in purple is my bills. Everything that is blue is my boyfriend's bills that he's in charge of. And then in pink is my daughter's. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and list out my monthly bills, which is going to be on this paper right here. So for monthly bills, income source, so I have 2 paychecks and a bonus. So I have pay number 1, pay number 2, and then bonus, which I'm gonna estimate this one. So I always do 20% tax, that's just me. So on average, I know that each paycheck is going to be about, I can usually expect at least $2,400. So let me write that down. And I don't do it to the very cent. I like being surprised and having a little bit extra. It makes me a little bit happier. So I do underball this a little bit. And then the bonus, I'm expecting $2,000 as my bonus for this month. That doesn't always happen. It's part of my contract when I signed up with my job. So they're just splitting it up over the course of my 2-year contract. So $2,000 times 0.2 is 400, so that makes $1,600. So this will be 1,600. So income for this month will be 4,800 for my 2 paychecks plus the 1,600, $6,400. And I'll kind of count this as like a third paycheck. Most likely will use this to get ahead on my bills. That's what I primarily do since I am paid twice a week instead of salary. What ends up happening is, or twice a week, that would be nice, my God. No, I get paid twice a month. What ends up happening, there's 2 months where I get an extra paycheck. That last happened in August where I got an extra paycheck, and I ended up using that money to fund my Christmas fund. So it's nothing I ever have to really take out and plan for. That's also how I've gotten ahead in my car payments. That's how I've gotten ahead. I just take that extra paycheck, and instead of putting it straight towards savings, I use it to get ahead on my bills. So I'm fortunate to be able to do that. I did make that decision early on. So as I started accruing those extra paychecks, since I've been a nurse for 3-4 years now, I've been slowly setting it aside to be able to pay my bills ahead of time. It has allowed me to be able to pay my car a year ahead. So right now I'm making payments for 2024 of November. It has allowed me to be able to fund Christmas fully. It's allowed me to have my emergency fund. So I will say it has helped a lot. So if you're able to do that, that does help you out quite a bit. That being said, so I'm going to just put my monthly bills here just so I can kind of budget everything out. So I have my rent. That one I know is $1,700. That is fixed, so $1,700. Then I have savings. So I like to have at least $25 a month that I set aside in my savings that goes directly into my savings account. And I do count that as a bill, and I know that one will be $25. Then I have my renter's insurance, and that one is $16. And then this one, I do leave blank the rest of my bills just because sometimes I don't pay them, certain bills. Sometimes I am able to skip them. When I say don't pay them, I mean I'm able to skip them. Other times it comes out to be a little bit more, a little bit less. So the rest of them I will leave blank. I also have I break down in my actual monthly budget my subscriptions. But what I just do here is I just write out subscriptions instead of listing them all out. So subscriptions, and that's going to be a flat $50. Then I have my internet, which I budget out $100. I have my daycare for my daughter, which is $780 a month. And this one as well. So her daycare is actually $720, but I'm able to budget out $780. Reason that I'm putting it as $780 is because in January, her daycare is going up in prices about $80 a month. So since I'm able to put an extra $60, every month I've been able to do that. So it was October, November, December, I will use to kind of cash fund myself and put it in that cash envelope, if that makes sense. So those extra $60 I will be taking out, putting in her cash envelope for if there's ever a month where I'm short, because I have $720 kind of budgeted in my head, but I'm able to afford $780 for now. If there's ever a month I'm not able to and I need to pay for her school, I have that extra money that I'm putting aside now. So it's kind of like planning ahead for an emergency, if that makes sense. That's just the way that I function. Again, this is just to show you guys different options on how to budget. This is how I do it. It doesn't necessarily have to be how you do it. So this is just how I'm planning everything out. So electric will be $200. That's how much I've budgeted out. Then I have my car insurance. So even though we are a single income household, my boyfriend's in charge of his bills. That being said, he's not working, so it is coming out of his savings, which he had put money aside prior. So all house bills, bills for my daughter, bills for the animals, the pets, I pay for that, and then he pays for anything that has to do for him. His car bill, his car insurance, gas, everything like that. Of course, where needed, I pitch in and I help, but I'm not gonna lie that most of these bills take up most of my income. So I try to help out as much as possible, but it's not always able to be done. So I have my car insurance. Then I have vet for both my pets. They are on a monthly vet plan, which helps a lot, I think. That covers their wellness check for the year. It also covers all of their vaccines, blood work, everything like that. It does also give you a discount if you do have to go in because they're sick. It gives you discount medications, the exam, everything like that. So it has helped in some cases where I am unable to have money set aside for a vet visit. It does help. It's kind of like a safety net. So it's more of like a mental thing. But it is nice to go to the vet and not have to pay anything for their yearly shots and whatnot. Then I have Curology because adult acne is not fun. Water. So I have water for $95. And then I have Honest, which is my daughter's diaper subscription, and that is $100. So this is my daughter's diaper subscription. It's actually about $90, but sometimes I do add on like an extra pack of diapers, some dry wipes, whatever. Sometimes it does come out to a little bit extra, so I budget for about $100. So let's total all that up. Okay, so $34.23. I usually get $4,800, so $4,800 minus $34.23. So I get $1,377 left over. Why does that not seem right to me? Oh, you know what I don't have in here? I know why. I don't even have my groceries and my spending money in here. Wow. So monthly groceries is $600, and then spending, I give myself $200 a month. Wow, that's right. So 34.23 plus 600 plus 200. That seems more accurate. So 4,800 minus 4,215. 577 seems much more accurate. So 577 is my leftover. And then what I will do usually is per paycheck, I'll go in and I'll break that down. So now I'm going to break this up by paycheck. So this is, again, this is just how I do everything. Everybody can do things differently. So this is for pay number one. I just kind of wanted to show you guys the real and the raw of how much I get paid, how much my bills are, and how we break it down, how we make it work. So this one is going to be, I call this one my big mama, because this is where rent comes out, and rent is $1,700 out of $2,400, takes up most of my income. So this one will be rent. Again, I do my budget, and then what I do is when I'm actually paid, I'll go in here, split it all down, and then we'll see. So for this paycheck, it's gonna be my rent, my gas, my internet, my renter's insurance. Those are my big bills. Then I automatically, at the beginning of the month, I put everything that I need for my subscriptions. I total it all up. Groceries will get $300 and spending $100. So we total all that up. So $23.16. So that literally leaves me, what, $70, if even? So that leaves me $84. So I have a whopping $84 left over. Typically what I'll do is I'll try to pre-write what cash envelopes that I want it to go to. However, that changes week by week, right? Because I don't know what I'm gonna spend on that week. So what I'll do is when I am paid, which I will video for you guys so you guys can see, is I'll also go through my cash envelopes, and when I get paid, it's usually a little bit more, then I'll kind of take this and break it down to say like, oh, hey, I took money out of my toiletries envelope, I need to refill that. So that's how I function. However, if I know there is an envelope that I need to fill, I will already write it down. So if, for example, I know that there's a birthday coming up, I don't have money in my gift envelope, I will go ahead and I'll put it right here so that I know that I need to budget that. Other times I'll put this in my savings. It really all depends. As of right now, I have put my savings, my personal savings, on hold and focused on cash stuffing so I can try to get ahead of everything. That is how I have functioned. Keep in mind, by doing this system of, like I explained earlier, I take my extra paychecks. I sometimes do work overtime or even underballing. Is that even a word? It's a weird word, but you get the message of undermining, maybe? Is that a better word? Anyways, by budgeting lower than I know I will get, I know I'm gonna get more than the $2,400. By budgeting lower, I will get extra money. That money is unplanned. So sometimes what I will do, right now I'm only expecting this $84. More than likely, I will be getting more on my paycheck, so I will be getting a higher number. What I will do sometimes is I will take whatever's over, so whatever's over that 84, and I will put that as my savings. Or I'll put it directly towards my car payment, or I'll put it directly towards my bills to be a month ahead. I mean, anything like that. So that being said, that has allowed me to be a year ahead on my car payments. It's allowed me to pay off most of my debt. I mean, I say it in all my videos to count your coins. I really mean that. And I mean that even with $1, and I mean that especially with $100. Every time that you have any extra money that you did not budget for, if you put it towards putting you ahead or paying off your debt, it will help you in the long run. Given this did not happen overnight, this took years. Like I said, I've been working for 3 years. Prior to that, when I was a nursing assistant, I did that for 3 years. I was still doing this. I was not able to put as much as I am able to put aside now, but I still did it and it still helped. Even $5, even $10, especially $20, and especially $50. Anything that you have. So, that being said, this $84 I will leave blank for now, as I'm just doing my preliminary. I'm just making sure that I have enough for my budget. So I kind of take, since my rent is my bigger bill out of this month, I will put my smaller ones, like the renter's insurance, the internet, and the gas. I always know I need groceries and spending for every single one. So what I will do is I'll do my rent, I'll add groceries and spending, see how much that gives me, and then I'll try to take my smaller bills to subsidize to get me closest to the $2,400. And then of course what I do is I take the rest of my bills and I'll put that in paycheck number 2. So what I will do is right here, this is going to be for paycheck number 2. So obviously for this one, I'm going to be putting the rest of my bills. So car insurance on this one. So my car insurance went up ridiculously because we live in freaking Florida. So my car insurance, I budget $235. I think it comes out to $226, but just in case, I have $235 because you never freaking know. I feel like this keeps going up. Just a month ago, this was like $170. It's ridiculous. I will keep my car insurance on my account, and then I will keep my certain other bills on my account, and I cashed up the rest. I was not able to do this in the beginning. I was not able to leave $1 on my debit account because I would use it. So I had to be very strict. So this came with training to be able to leave it. So that being said, I just remembered. So what I'm going to do is I also like to put here under the date, I put a little C, and that lets me know to take these out in cash. So groceries and spending I take out in cash, subscription stays on, renter's insurance stays on, internet, gas, and rent stays on. So car insurance, I have daycare for my daughter. So daycare, I put $780. The actual amount is $720. So this used to be something that me and my boyfriend split. So the $720, we would each put in about $360 on, just to make it about $720. I've had to increase this, obviously, because he no longer is able to pay his share, which again was a decision we made together. So the daycare, what I did, like I said, was a year ahead on my car payment. So I made the decision to put the money that I was putting towards my car, which was about $400 a month, I put that towards daycare to be able to afford her daycare. So again, I was only able to do this because I was a year ahead on my car payment. If I was not a year ahead on my car payment and I still had to make my car payment, most likely what I would do is take all the extra money that I make, which averages out, if we look, $577. I would use that to cover his part. So he pays half, I pay half. I would have taken $320 out of that extra and I would have used it. Fortunately, because the way that I budget, the way that I save, I call myself an emergency planner. I like to make sure that I over budget so that if something happens, I have the money to kind of take tally for that variable. So daycare, I was able to up that and pay that myself. But again, my car payments are now no longer going to be a year ahead. They'll most likely be 6 months ahead, because for the next 6 months, I'm planning on still being a single income. So I will be paying for her daycare until he gets out of school and gets a job. So then I have my savings, 25, vet of 102, my water bill, which I budget in 95, electric, I budget 200, and again, this all changes month by month, but usually my electric is right around $200. Gas for my car, I always do 50, and it gets me by for those 2 weeks. I always do a buffer, so buffer of $50, and that's just kind of to cover anything that I have that's not planned. If a bill needs a little bit extra money, if I have something I have to buy that wasn't planned, if I need more gas money than just the 50, if my boyfriend needs something, I always try to buffer extra $50. And if I don't use it, it goes to my savings challenge towards a down payment for a house. So it's kind of a win-win. My dog, Nikita, she gets $70 for her food. Then I have my cat, Mimi, she gets $25 for food. And then her litter is $20. Sometimes I'll budget a little bit more for this one. Like last time I did 30 because I wanted the smelly good stuff for her litter. So it really all depends. But this is like the bare minimum for the most part for most of these bills. $30 for prevention. This is where I do Honest, and I try to have the $100 for her diaper subscription. If you have a child, I would strongly advise to look at what diaper brand you use to see if they do subscriptions, because I get about 20% off just from having automatic refills and automatic subscription to have it done monthly. So I am able to change her diaper size, the diaper print that I want, everything right then and there. And then because I do the subscriptions, I get 15% off on their other products. So it does end up saving you money in the long run. So I would strongly suggest it. Then I go into, these are most of my fixed bills, then variable bills. I have house. So this is the money that I put aside monthly for house money, for toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, toothpaste, toothbrush, anything like that. I put $80 aside for that. Then I also have my spending, which is $100. Groceries is $300. Then I have grooming for my dog. It is $30. If you have a pet supermarket near you, some of them have the self-wash stations, which cost $10. I put 30 just in case sometimes I need to rebuy her shampoo or a brush or something like that. So I always put 30 just in case, but it does cost $10, and they give you the shampoo, the towel, and you have a full-size tub. You wash them yourselves. They have a blow dryer, and it's basically like a little grooming area. The only thing you can't do is nails, but I believe that most places, like my vet, for example, it's 10 to 15 depending on the size of the dog just to get nails done. So that saves you a lot on grooming bills. And I believe that is it for all of those bills. So let's calculate how much I have. So I'll be getting $2,400 minus I'll have $108 left over. So $108 left over after I put all my bills together. It is a little bit different than that $577, but again, we added $600 for groceries. Spending was the $200. There were some variables in there that I don't purposefully add in here, which is like, for example, my dog's food, $70, my cat's food, my litter, her prevention, stuff that I'll take out generally in cash. I always like to be a month ahead on those, which gives me the flexibility that if there's 1 month I need to put that money and prioritize it somewhere else, I am able to do so. So I never put it in my monthly budget. Monthly budget is for my fixed bills. So just going down the list here of what I will be taking out in cash. And that just kind of helps me for when I'm going to be planning all this. So again, this is just my little system. So I will be taking all this out in cash. I do leave my automatic payments, such as the Honest subscription, electricity, water, everything. I do put that purposefully on my account so that I can use my card for it. And again, that took years of training. So that being said, this is basically, again, this is how I just budget. This is not my actual paycheck. This is not my actual bills. I will be filming a second part to this for when I actually get paid, how I kind of fix some of these things, how I save, what I put it towards, just to help you guys get a better idea. This does change. You need to keep that in mind. This changes from paycheck to paycheck. It changes from scenario to scenario. Like I said, we made the decision to become a single income household until he's done with school. That definitely changes a lot of things. I could be saving a lot more money, but obviously there's other things too. I now had to, take in the full daycare bill. So that definitely changed things up where I'm no longer a year ahead on my car. I'm now only going to be 6 months ahead on my car, which is still great. Don't get me wrong. That is still great. I'm still very proud of myself for being able to do that. It took a long time to get there, but it is something that does kind of still sting a little bit that I had to take out 6 months for it. But priority bill is obviously daycare for my daughter. That one we need very much. And again, just because I am a planner, I do always like to have that buffer just in case I need something. Like I explained earlier, that daycare bill, I'm putting more money into it just so that when the prices do go up in January, I'm kind of planning for that as well, just to be able to have some money aside. So I hope I kind of explained this a little bit easier, where I put my fixed bills that I need to have in my account first on my monthly budget, and then per paycheck I'll then add in, like the buffer, the other little amounts that I take out, like house, everything like that, grooming, which I don't include in my monthly because those are things I can skip. Those are things that I can go without for a month. Those are things that I don't list as a priority. So that being said, I will be leaving these 2 leftover estimates. And then when I actually get paid is when I actually break down. I go through my cash envelopes and I'll see where I can kind of put money. So I'll show you guys how I do that as well. If you have any questions, please leave it down below. Let me know. If you have any comments, if you have a system that works better and it's helped you so much, please share it as well, to help, help a sister out. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Thank you.